and then it just ends. The final one is going to fade out on that last verse, so it's not just going to end like that. Oh, golly gee. Good morning, everyone. Do we have some stuff to talk about? As I always do. 10:23? 10:23, I think? Yeah. I'm going to try to get this actually out today. I am recording this on Sunday. I'm going to try to get it out by noon, as I always do. People. We got some stuff to discuss. I am in an ever ongoing copyright issue with YouTube right now. And it's not because I monetize my channel, which I will talk about that, but it just seems like ever since I started posting more frequently, stuff is getting copyrighted more. But like I said in that short, why isn't my Johnny Cash stuff getting copyrighted? Why isn't the Elizabeth Cotton stuff? Why isn't the Carter family stuff? Why is that not getting copyrighted? But yet, if I do something by Elvis or James Taylor, it's copyrighted. I just don't understand. I'm not going to use this video to rant. I think I've ranted enough, and I'm sure it's probably annoying. But how else am I going to update you? Because I say I'm going to record all these songs, and if I don't do it, one, I feel like I'm going back on my word, which I'm trying to do better at. But it just, I just want to keep you updated. And why not, point out the fact that YouTube's got this... You cannot tell me there's a person sitting in an office watching every video that comes in and they're just like, ooh, copyright. No, it's a freaking machine, man. It's probably AI. It's some kind of computer system that is probably like, oh, someone just posted that. That's not James Taylor, copyright. Or that's not Elvis, copyright. And here's the thing. Because shorts are only so long, I can't explain it. So I have tried to dispute copyright claims in the past. The problem is they are right. I am covering someone's song. However, I don't sing. Like I said in my one short, I don't sing in it. It's just the music. It is as if I try to make at least all my electric recordings, I tried to make it to where it was like I took the song, I cut the lyrics out, and all you hear are the word or the music. That's what I was aiming for. I was trying to make it sound like the original. There towards the end, I was like, no, I'm just going to make it sound like I want to. Kind of like my acoustic album now. It's like, obviously, there's no way I can make it sound even close to the original. At least the stuff that I'm not doing fingerstyle. But I just don't know. I just don't know, people. But all that being said, I do apologize. Oh, no. I'm going to finish my story. I've tried disputing the claims, but the problem is if you try to dispute a claim and they find you wrong, your channel gets a strike. And you get 3 strikes, and you're out. I have at one point got 1 strike on my channel, way back when I was disputing one, and needless to say, I don't even want to attempt anymore. I'm gonna let the big man win, and I'm just gonna delete the video. So I do apologize. I can't do that Elvis song. I don't even want to say the song title because it seems like it's so heavily copyrighted. But here we are. So yeah, a few updates for you. One, the song saw at the beginning, Man in Black, it won't get copyrighted. Yeah, I think that's the final sound. It was, honestly, I did very little editing to it because to me, it just sounded good right from the start. I could not do 2 separate recordings for the acoustic, so it's the same track, it's just panned right and left, and then offset. So it kind of has like a stereo sound to it. I added, because the original recording, there was not a lot, but there was some distortion on the electric guitar. So I added that. And honestly, I think it sounds pretty cool. So, probably gonna get that posted later today. I'm gonna actually sit down and really like hone in on it and see if there's anything I want to change. The the issue I've also been having, as I've said on that last short I posted, I am so red right now. I don't know why. Um, Feeling hot. Probably anxiety. Who knows? I've been having issues with GarageBand where every time, I think I've talked about this before, I use Raycon wireless earbuds. YouTube turned me on to it. That's how they get you. Um, every time I would, this was before I updated my phone to iOS 26, which, by the way, I think it's stupid. I don't think the system update I don't think was stupid. The glass look I think is stupid. I liked how the iOS systems looked when like the iPhone 5 came out. It wasn't so matte. It was like it almost had that glass look to it. Do you know what I'm talking about? Do you remember that? I liked that look, and then when they shifted everything to that matte look, they had that for the longest time and I got used to it. And now they've come out with this glass feature that you can't turn off. But what I did though, I saw an Instagram reel. If you go into your settings and you go to like accessibility, display and text, and reduce transparency, I think it like outlines everything. So it makes it look a little bit more noticeable. I guess is the best word. It just outlines all your apps on your home screen. All that being said, before I had updated to iOS 26, GarageBand would work fine. I would get a pop-up bubble that said you're using a Bluetooth device, your audio might be delayed. I'd click OK and it'd be okay. And then I just carry on. Recently, doesn't do it every time now. It's getting better. But sometimes when I put my headphones in, open up GarageBand, it pulls up that pop-up window and I click OK, the app crashes. And I can't do anything. And I'm not gonna lie to you, I got real depressed like 2 or 3 days ago because I couldn't record anything. And I really wanted to. I wanted to get these songs done so I could move on to the next song. But it finally got to working. I had a pair of Apple headphones that you could just plug into your phone. And I tried using those yesterday because GarageBand was failing again. And I don't know, but I don't know if the sound is getting recorded through my headphones or through the phone, because when I was using those headphones, it sounded like it was coming in through the microphone on the headphones, and it sounded terrible. So that was also like a huge letdown because I didn't have a backup option. So hopefully it's coming together. I think it's starting to work. They're probably doing something with the system because I would hope I wasn't the only person complaining about this, but oh well. Oh yes, monetizing my channel. I know, there's going to be some ads popping up. Here's why I did it. One, I've always wanted to kind of monetize my channel, and I'm not going to lie to you. I'll be fully transparent about everything. In the last week, maybe week and a half, I made a whole $5. Yeah, man, a whole $5. And they're not even on my recent videos. They're on my older videos with more views. Now, I did not monetize every video. I'm picking and choosing which ones I want to monetize. The ones that I can see are going to be bigger, more viral videos, those are the ones I'm monetizing. So if you see ads pop up, that's why. But the reason I did it, like I said, I've always kind of wanted to do it, and I finally got to a point that I could. But Here's a kicker. I'm not a carpenter anymore. I quit my job 2 weeks ago. I am. I got an interview, not this week, but the week after. And in the meantime, I've just been doing side work at my mom's house. Um, I'm not going to get into why I quit. Let's just say there was a shift in management. Actually, I'll tell you this story. Not what led up to me leaving, but how I came to be a carpenter. So, I worked at a law firm for 4 years before I quit, or before I went to that job. Kind of like a little Q&A, more of an A, but here we go. My entire job history is simple. I worked at the YMCA for 3 years, and I was a climbing wall instructor back when I used to rock climb. Worked there. Um, at the same time, I also got a job through an ex-girlfriend of mine. Her dad was a DJ at a radio station here in my city. He got me a job on their street team. And, sorry, there's a bunch of geese flying around right now. Also, on a random side note, I watch these videos back and I always catch myself looking out. That's all I'm looking at. I'm just looking out and about. Yeah, you didn't need to know that, but I wanted to just clear that up for no reason other than doing it. Anyway, so I got that job. So at that point, I was a climbing wall instructor and street team for a radio station. Now you're adjusted. Then I had an internship at an accounting firm here in town because I thought I was going to be an accountant, but nope, not for me. I have a minor in accounting, but a bachelor's in marketing. Um, I wanted something a bit more professional. Not that the radio job wasn't professional, but a more full-time job. My ex at the time recommended that I go work for a law firm because she worked at a law firm. Um, and my mom just so happened to have a client who worked at the law firm I worked at. They got in touch with each other. They told me to get in touch with this guy, and it just ended up working out. So I was a legal courier for a little bit, running errands, doing stuff around the office, stuff like that, keeping the office maintained, basically. Worked my way up to an office assistant position, which was kind of helping. There was the manager, and then there was like an assistant manager kind of like position there, and the office assistant assisted the assistant manager. They created the position for me because I was wanting to quit and they wanted to keep me, so they created that position so they could give me more money so I didn't have to leave. Well, I worked in that position for like a couple months. My legal courier and office assistant position were only over the span of a few months. And then a position opened in the employee benefits department where I became a legal secretary. And I was there for 2 years in that position. Here's where the story goes into carpentry. My high school math teacher was the owner of that company. He did carpentry on the side, but then he ended up starting his own company. And him and we had been close since high school. When I used to rock climb, he realized that I rock climbed and he got into it. So then we would go rock climbing together, and then we'd go to coffee together. We would we basically just became friends outside of him being my teacher. It was a little weird at first, but I love that guy. He's a pretty cool guy. So when he started his own company, he needed help. And he knew that I liked woodworking. He knew that I was decent at woodworking. So then he reaches out to me and is like, I started my own company. I know you're kind of looking for a new job, because I had told him that. Do you want to be my apprentice? And at the time, it sounded too good to be true. And I knew that. So I told him, until you can guarantee me 40 hours of work, I'm not going to work for you. So a year goes by, he gets pretty busy, and honestly, ever since I started there, it got so busy. He built a good company, I will say. He reaches out, he says, "All right, I can guarantee you 40 hours of work at this point. Are you ready?" And I was like, "Well, I just broke up with my ex. I moved back in with my parents for a little bit. Um, no better time than now." So I did it. 2 years later, I quit. And when I say there was a shift in management, I'm pretty sure it's because my boss at the time also realized he didn't like it. He got burnt out, and I got burnt out. That's the best way to explain it. I got burnt out. It wasn't fun anymore. Woodworking to me is a hobby, not a career. I tried making the best out of it I could, but I just couldn't do it. So when we had the shift in management, my former boss won't watch this, but I just want to be careful on what I say. I did not agree with the next owner, and we spat a few times. So I was like, nope, too toxic, too toxic. And I'm not willing to put myself through hell to make a living. I want to be happy, because this job has taken such a toll on my physical and mental health that I gotta go back into an office where I was happy, where I can socialize with people, where I can just sit down and do my job. And then when I'm done with work, I can get back into the routine of going back to the gym. And I have formed some bad habits. Just, again, being fully transparent with you. I know you probably weren't expecting me to be like this honest and transparent when you found my channel, but it's always a time and place to start. This channel needs to go in a different direction. Kind of different direction. I just want to be honest with you, okay? That's all I'm trying to say. And there's always a time to start making changes, and I was about to cuss, but god dang it, it's time to make some changes. So, where I'm going with all this is I monetize the channel just to try to bring in, I'm doing everything I can to bring in as much income as I can until I find something. And I've given myself a deadline that if I don't get the job that I'm interviewing for in the next 2 weeks, I'm just going to find something, and I'm going to keep looking for an office job. Because I honestly like working in law. I don't know why. My parents have always told me you'd make a good lawyer because you love to argue. And they're not wrong. They are not wrong. I don't know if I want to be a lawyer. I gotta be honest with you all. I don't know what I want to do. I really don't. Growing up, I was always told I should like be an engineer or something. Because the vast majority of my high school years, I was doing engineering classes. And then when I got into college and started taking the engineering classes, I was like, nope, I cannot do this. And, I eventually ended up on a business degree, which feels more like me. So, that's why I monetize my channel, just to bring in a little extra income. I don't even care if by the end of the month I make like 30 bucks. 30 bucks is better than nothing. And I do have a substantial savings from growing up and living with my parents for as long as I did, but I'm good. It's just I was saving for a house. But that's why we have a savings account. And my truck right now is getting PDR done to it because we had a massive hailstorm that like completely destroyed it. So that's going to be an extra $1,000 for a deductible. Don't buy a truck. Just don't buy a truck. Anyway, I just wanted to give you all a little update on what's going on. Leave a comment down below on what you want me to try to record next. I'm going to be working on the national anthem, and I swear to God, if it gets copyrighted, I'm going to do that thing where I had made a post asking you, should I name the songs with the actual song title or some type of title with the words of the song in it? So like the national anthem could be By the Dawn's Early Light, I don't know, instead of the Star Spangled Banner. I'm going to get these songs out there. I'm telling you. If you made it this far along, should we do a live stream? I've honestly like really wanted to do a live stream. Like we can just a video like this, I'll see questions pop up. We can just have a nice chat. If you want to see me play something, I'll play it. If you want to learn something, I'll teach you. I'm really thinking about it. I think that'd be fun. But you let me know down below. Also, go to that shorts where I'm asking you to help me write a song and leave me a chord progression. Please. Please help. Please help. Anyway, I think I've talked long enough. It looks like I've talked for 23 and a half minutes, so I gotta get this edited together in the next hour 15. And I gotta eat breakfast because I still haven't eaten. All right, people. It's been a second since I've done one of these Sunday songs and talks. I like it. Gotta get back into it. But I also just love making videos. If I can make it a full-time thing, with your help, maybe I can. So, I'm not going to tell you to do it. You know what to do down below. Hit the 2 buttons. Share it with your friends. Till the next one.